one of the things I learned about from Brecht is the nature of reeling people in and spitting people out and estranging people. And sometimes having people be emotionally involved is okay, but sometimes sometimes it's too much, and you don't want to keep, metaphorically punching people in the face because the audience is going to really, at the end, kind of feel punched in the face. And so ultimately, sometimes you have to turn negativity into comedy. And so the poem is, it's about dead bodies. It's about dead bodies being received and transferred to their, ceremony and transferred to their loved ones. It's a funeral ceremony, and they're enacting out this funeral ceremony. But it's also about this military veteran that comes back from war and from the military and comes back home to no home. So all of the characters in this play are homeless. So Dave will be his namesake. He'll play Dave. Sadie will play Jackie. Matt will play James. And Jason will take on the daunting task of stage directions. My name is Thaddeus Nagy. I'm a master's theater student at California State University, Northridge. And I wrote a play called Because It's Sunny in LA, Especially on Skid Row. Act 2, Scene 2 of the play is being performed today. The title was created because the most common reason why people say that people are homeless in LA is because it's sunny in LA. The people move to Los Angeles because it's sunny to be homeless. That is what people think. And this is what I constantly got from people when I would have conversations about why people are homeless in LA and why there's such a problem in LA. And so my answer was, so it's a question, because it's sunny in LA. And my answer was, especially on Skid Row, because if people are moving to LA to be homeless because it's sunny in LA, then it must be really, really sunny on Skid Row. And the nature of people moving to LA is normally for opportunities because of the economy, because they want to get a job or because they know somebody here. And there was a report put out by HUD January to Congress. HUD put out a report to Congress in January basically saying that only 14% of the people that are homeless in California move from out of state. That about 86% of the people that are homeless here in California have lived here, most of them for over 20 years. So the reality is that most people are residents of LA and have been residents for a very long time and have become homeless being here for a long period of time, having been established here. So it's a myth and it's a rumor that they're coming from outside of state as a majority to come here and become homeless.
Because it's sunny in LA, especially on Skid Row. Act 2, Scene 2 by Thaddeus Nagy. A street lined with tents could be underneath an overpass, near a bus stop, park bench, or on a sidewalk. Multiple cinder block on stage. Rows of tents, miscellaneous belongings, sleeping bags, a dilapidated couch, and lots of junk. Dave, Jackie, and James are the ones left on stage. James unzips his tent and looks around, steps outside, and sits on a cinder block. He starts to read. Dave sprays graffiti art on a large piece of cardboard. Below the poem is rewritten in pentameter. Stage is well lit. Must read poem at a slower pace with rhythmic body movement. Can dance or perform with bodily object work or interpretations. James, to audience and paces up and down the stage, acting the poem out in an artistic way through movement and object work. instrumental, America the Beautiful, is playing on the speakers.
Like clockwork, planes landing every half hour, hailed from the tower, two bright lights trailing, arms motioning, flailing. The end opens, an unloader trailing, 30 of them.
Dave looks up from his art, calls out to James.
30 of them? 30 of them.
Jackie lays on a cot and gets up.
Dead bodies. Remains. It's a poem. Let me see that.
Grabs a piece of paper from James and recites. Meanwhile, James grabs a folded flag from his tent and pushes it on Dave. As she recites, James and Dave unfold the flag similar to a military funeral ceremony. Actors must study how to unfold the flag and perform ceremony.
Every day, the devils deliver them. A fog of gray, far and wide, camouflage, unloading our sins in the entourage. We carefully drape sins of war and rape to cover our mistakes, always too late. We gently unfold our patriot flag for our people from Bagram and Baghdad.
Jackie lays back on cot while James and Dave drape the flag over her body. Dave grabs a poem and recites.
We beg for solace. We are somber and sad. Carefully placed, our gloved hands on the rails, walk them with severance, knocked over by gales.
James stands at attention and salutes.
We salute with reverence. Hail to veterans.
They both grab the cot with Jackie on it, drape the flag over her, and slowly move her, one step at a time, off stage and through the audience aisle. Meanwhile, James finishes the poem and speaks towards the audience.
Deliverance from pure benevolence. Unwrap stars and stripes, honor archetypes. Check that the black straps are sturdy. Account for remains along this journey. Thoughts and prayers are rarely the right answer when war spreads like a terminal cancer. Remains are transferred, one part at a time. Carefully logged, tedious paradigm.
At the end of the aisle, just before they reach the door, James and Dave put down Jackie, and Dave and Jackie exit through the rear of the audience. James yells out, shaken, nearly crying, and walks briskly back toward the stage.
Their mothers receive them. Is there no crime? Long for peace again this time.
Back on stage, sits down on a cinder block. James, to the audience.
There's not much left when you're stuck in the cracks. I found myself weeping in between the flights. I would crawl into the closet where no one would find me, and I would just sit there and weep. Most were people I didn't know. Air Force, Marines, Army, Navy, sometimes Iraqis, sometimes even Taliban, sometimes people I knew. All came back in pieces of some sort. Oh, we would sort them. We would bag them, ice them, put them in caskets. Military ceremony, loading them onto the plane. Ah, tradition. Standing at attention. Parade rest. Quiet. Pure quiet. Unload. Ceremony. Tradition. When I came home, there was no welcoming party. The dead always had a welcoming party. All of them. Not me. Most of my family didn't want to know me anymore. Were they ashamed? Death infiltrated my very spirit. I was saturated. A dark cloud, death. But I was still alive. Did I deserve to be alive? Do I deserve to be alive? Well, do I? I'm not lazy. I came back to work, to eat, to live. I was rejected, cast aside. You know what they told me? I was overqualified. I guess I was too skilled. Thanks for your service, they'd say. Pretty stressed, tense, and depressed. PTSD. They told me I was a disorder. And if the stress and trauma wasn't a natural thing, disorder? PTSD? Pretty tired of taking stress dumps? Oh, how about this? Those things suck, dude. Then they would send me on my merry way. I tried to get help. You know, I once survived off an apple, an orange, and 2 slices of bread for 2 weeks. I looked up to God. I said, is there a God? PTSD. Prepare to see dangers. Am I going to die? Homelessness. Loneliness. Here I am with no welcoming party. Jobless, hungry, homeless. Thank you for your service. The only good news, they say the only thing certain is death and taxes. Well, since I got no job, I ain't got no taxes.